I'm sorry, Cliff. I don't follow your reasoning. Why would Elliot Dorn have Raven's letter?
Come on, what other document could he be talking about, huh?
Anything. Contract, a lease, a letter of agreement?
Exactly. A letter of agreement that Raven gave April before she went off to London.
You're forgetting one thing. I was there when the letter was destroyed.
Did you actually see it destroyed?
Well,
did you
no,
see her burn it? Did she tear it up?
I saw the letter.
How do you know it was even the letter in question?
I held it in my hand. I went there specifically for the purpose of getting it. Of course, so did Raven.
Why do you have to be so hard on me? I know I've done a lot of rotten things in my life, but I'm different.
Different? That's funny. I look at you and see exactly the same woman I made the mistake of marrying.
If you see the same woman, you must still want me.
Oh, Raven. All I want from you is that you take very good care of Jamie until this custody suit is settled.
All right. All right, I will return him to you in good condition. There, you see, I admit it. You win and I lose. Here's the letter. Let me see that. That's a forgery.
The real letter, Raven.
Okay. So you know that Raven threw the letter off the terrace. But how do you know it wasn't caught?
By Elliot Dorn.
Possibly.
A 32-story catch? It's good. He should be in the majors. Of course, you'll tell me that he was... Of course, he could have been waiting, couldn't he?
Scarlett told me that the chief said that Raven was very upset by Elliot's remarks, right?
Yeah. And what would upset her more than the sudden reappearance of that letter?
It showed that she perjured herself in court.
We're just giving in to wishful thinking, Cliff.
Well, considering what's happening in that courtroom, I don't think we have much choice, do we? Remember how we said that the letter would be the key to the case?
What you got there?
This is the key we're looking for. I conned it off of Deborah.
It's the key to the unicorn. How'd you get her to give you that?
Well, let's just say that Deborah and I have the same theories, and she was more than happy to cooperate.
Cliff, the cops have been through that club with a fine-tooth comb. You're not going to find anything.
But they didn't know what to look for. I do.
Thanks, Maude. So, you don't know Kelly McGrath all that well, huh?
No, I've seen him a half a dozen times. Usually with Jody Travis.
Huh. You mean at the Unicorn when they used to work there?
Kelly used to stop up at the studio to watch Jody work out. One time to take her out.
Aha. So, they did see each other socially, huh?
Look, why don't you ask them?
Well, them ain't here right now, and you are.
Hey, what is this? Is this why you offered to pay for the food so you could pump me about Kelly?
No, it's just that sometimes it's easy to find out things about people by talking to their friends, that's all.
Who said we were friends?
Ah, so you don't like him, huh? Is that, because of Jody?
You know something, Calvin? Sometimes I forget you're a cop.
Well, I don't get paid for dancing yet.
And I don't get paid for being a stoolie. You just want me to say something about Kelly so you can pin the Dorn murder on him. Is that it?
Come on, now, look, did I even say the guy was a suspect?
Well, you talk about him as if he's on the list.
Well, of course he's on the list. I mean, we wouldn't be doing our job if we struck him from the list. He knew the deceased. He did not like the deceased. You might even say he hated the deceased.
I didn't like Dorn all that much either. Does that mean I'm on the list?
Look, I'm going to tell you something, but you got to keep this under your hat. McGrath admitted going back to the Unicorn that night.
You kidding?
Yeah, he says he went back for his puppets. Said he thought Dorn might get angry and try to do away with them. He went as far as the front door, and then he changed his mind, turned around, and went home, or so he says.
So you think he went back inside and started another fight with Dorn?
Well, if he did, the second fight certainly ended up with his doing more than just knocking Dorn down.
Well, don't ask me. I wasn't there.
No, but you were just a couple of doors down the street, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. You saw me there. Listen, I gotta get back to the studio. I've got a new student there. I want to make sure she hasn't broken her ankle. Thanks for buying, Calvin.
It's on the department. Hey, Maud, you want to join me in a cup of coffee?
You think there's room enough for both of us?
I don't know what else I can tell you, Draper. I went back to the Unicorn because I was afraid the guy would get into a drunken stupor and destroy my puppets.
Puppets. Kelly, why couldn't you wait till morning to go back to the club?
Well, sure, I could have waited till morning. But each one of those puppets I made by hand. It's an investment of 2 or 3 years involved.
Draper, his interest in the puppets isn't idle. They're very valuable property.
To tell you the truth, Draper, I don't see the need for this at all. I don't see why I have to talk to a lawyer.
Because if Mike were here, he'd be asking you the same questions.
Why? Why? Because I might be accused of murdering Elliot Dorn?
Kelly, I think you should be ready to go to court. Not because the police are going to break down the door and lead you away in handcuffs, but it's stupid for you not to recognize the fact that you are a suspect.
It is a possibility.
Now, come on, Kelly, look. Sit down. You don't know me or anything about me, but a while back there was another murder in town. Dorn's wife, my mother-in-law, Margot Huntington.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. And they indicted you.
I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it cost me 6 months of my life. I just don't want you to take this lightly, because the law can make mistakes.
Don't you think I know that? I just can't believe this. I can't believe it's happened to me again.
What are you talking about?
Nothing.
You must mean something. You know, what could happen
It's
twice?
just something happened to me in another country. I'm going to go to my room now, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Draper.
Oh, a dinner in half an hour, Kelly.
Sure.
Now, what did he mean by that?
No, it has nothing to do with this, Draper.
What doesn't?
Something happened to Kelly in Rome, and I promised him I wouldn't talk.
Something he was accused of?
Something he's innocent of. I know it.
Nancy, do you really know him that well?
What time would you like me to serve dinner, Mrs. Scott?
Well, Draper said he should be home in about an hour or so. I guess 8 o'clock would be fine. Thank you, Mom.
Very well. I can take that.
Thank you. Oh, thank you for this.
Yes, Oscar. Oh, yes, of course. Send him right up.
Send who up?
Mr. Swift. I assume that you're expecting him.
No, as a matter of fact, I wasn't.
Oh, I'm so sorry. He's such a frequent visitor. I mean, I
Don't
just
worry
didn't-
about it. I'm not going to send him away. I'm just a little bit surprised, that's all. Logan, hi.
Hello, April. I hope I'm not interrupting anything. I mean, you're not busy, are you?
No, not at all. Come on in. Sit down. Can I get you a drink?
No. I just got through having a drink with my esteemed attorney. Where's Draper? Is he around?
Oh, no, he isn't here. He's at the cars.
Cars? I thought Mike was still up in
Yeah.
Capital City doing that crime commission
Yeah,
business.
he is. Sit down.
Thank you.
Nancy asked Draper if he would go over and talk to her nephew, Kelly.
Oh, I see. I do seem to drop up when Draper's not around, don't I?
Yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to talk to him tonight, get his professional opinion how the trial was going.
Well, he shouldn't be too long. Stay and have something.
I could get you a cup of coffee.
There you
Well,
go.
thank you, Molly. That'd be very nice.
Just a minute.
So, young Mr. McGrath is thinking about hiring a lawyer, huh?
Oh, not right yet, anyway. But I'm sure you've heard of what his situation is in Elliot's murder.
Yeah, I did hear about that. I can tell you, from the point of view of the prosecutor's office anyway, that there are no rumors, certainly no plans afoot for his imminent arrest. I can't see why the cops would want to pin a homicide on him just because he had a fight with Elliot Dorn. I would pin a medal on him.
Yeah. I would say you hated Elliot almost as much as I did.
Did not like the man, no. Guess that makes us suspects. I hope you have a better alibi than I do for the night of the murder.
Logan,
was
I really
walking
don't
home
want to talk
alone.
about that.
Okay.
But I would like to ask you about what happened in court today. What in the world did Cliff mean when he said he had some new evidence?
April, please don't get your hopes up. I'm afraid that was just another one of Cliff's very strange notions.
Yeah, Draper thought it was just a stall attempt to, to keep from ending.
Draper's very astute.
Well, I was hoping it was true. I was hoping there was some new hope.
Just don't count on it.
Logan, Judge Lewis cannot give Raven custody of Jamie. He just can't do that.
Nobody can. And I think you should prepare yourself for that. I'm trying to do that for myself.
It'd be criminal, Logan.
No. It would be unfair, but not criminal. In fact, it would be very, very legal indeed.
Well, let's say it does happen. Do you still plan on leaving Monticello?
Yeah, I haven't changed my mind about that.
Logan, you can't. It would be wrong. It would be so wrong.
Be right for me, April. Not just because of Jamie, either. You know the other reason.
Oh, hi there, Mr. Scott.
Oscar? Still look at me as if you've seen a ghost.
Guess I just can't get used to your being alive again, Mr. Scott.
Sometimes I have trouble adjusting to it, too. Believe me, Oscar, it's nice to be back among the living.
Well, I mean, you weren't actually dead. You were just someone else. Right?
Don't try to figure it out, Oscar. It'll give you a headache.
Oh, Lotus. Sorry, Trevor, you startled me. You're back, huh?
I didn't know you were stopping by tonight.
Well, I didn't know I was stopping by either. I just thought I'd avail myself of your expertise and see how the trial was going.
Well, let's go back upstairs.
I was just up there. I changed my mind. I don't think I can
Now, come on, have dinner with us.
All of a sudden, I'm not feeling very convivial. I think you can understand that.
Yeah, I understand.
So, you were visiting a new client tonight, huh?
Well, I hope he's not going to become a new client. Of course, that's up to your office and the police.
Well, I can tell you what I told April. As far as I know, there are absolutely no plans to put him in jail.
No, it's a good idea. If you did that, it'd be a big mistake.
You think he's innocent, then?
Well, I'm not going to go out on a limb, Logan, but I talked to him, and his answers impressed me. Let's just let it go at that.
And he is Nancy's nephew. Maybe just a little bit of bias there?
No. Innocent until proven guilty. Remember that?
Absolutely. Well, I'll let you get upstairs and have your dinner. See you.
Yeah, Logan.
Yeah?
You know, we have to talk.
Yeah. As soon as the trial's over and our schedule.
No, Logan. It can't be that indefinite.
Guess it has been a while since we had a talk. Just the two of us.
I think we have a lot to talk about. Don't you?
About 6 months worth, I'd say.
Yeah, 6 months worth. You know, a lot has happened to us in the last 6 months. And I want it out in the open right now.
April's waiting for you, Draper.
No. Not for another hour or so. My meeting with Kelly didn't take as long as I thought it would. Look, why don't we get out of here, go have a drink, and talk?
All right. You name the place.
Who said you could play that music?
Martine.
Hello, Gavin.
How did you get in here?
There was a young woman here when I arrived. She let me in. She was very pretty, Gavin. Is she the latest?
I just met her. She's a prospective pupil.
Don't take her. She was reading a magazine while she exercised. I don't think she understands concentration.
I thought you were in Europe.
I was. Now I'm here.
Why?
Because I needed exercise. I arrived at the Monticello Arms last night. I have been traveling for days. Every muscle in my body has been complaining.
Arrived from where?
Paris. Anyway, I thought it was a very good idea to find a dance studio where I could exercise. So I looked at the Monticello directory. And what do you suppose I saw?
Wiley Dance Studios.
Uh-huh.
But Wiley's at the end of the alphabet. Why didn't you stop with A?
I always start at the end of the list. I like to be fair with all the people whose names start with a Z, Y, X, W. Listen, I just couldn't resist coming here. How could I?
You didn't know I'd moved to Monticello, did you?
No, of course not. I assumed you were still in New York.
There wasn't much left for me in New York.
Oh, well, what's the difference? We're both in Monticello. It's a small miracle, isn't it?
Well, some miracles can be explained. I know why I'm here. I'm here to teach. Why are you here?
My reason is business, too. I'm going to dance here.
Here?
Yes. If everything goes as planned.
What things?
You know.
Martine? Are you still with him?
It's really a lovely studio, Gavin. A little dark and musty. But I like it. Would you allow me to use it when I'm getting ready for my performances? I pay you.
We're full up right now.
But please let me come here until I can make some other arrangements. I need to work.
There are fancier places in town, Martine. I'm sure you can find a better place. You always do.
All right, Gavin. Whatever you say. You still have my music, don't you?
Must have not paid their electric bill, huh? Let's see. If I were a letter, where would I hide? Well, certainly wouldn't be out here and everybody find me, right? Of course. Nice, huh? Big mice. Hey, come on with your hands up! Charlie, what are you yelling about? Hey, I'm telling you, there's somebody in there. I heard some noises. Charlie, come on, you been drinking again? I want to go out to the car. I want to listen to the game. Come on. I'm telling you, man, there's somebody in there. Charlie, are you crazy? Don't put a... Raven. Not have paid the electric bill, I guess. Let's see. If I were a letter, where would I be? Well, certainly not in here. No. Then people would find me, right? So, of course. Mice, huh? Big mice. Hey, you come in out there with your hands up! Charlie, what are you yelling at? Hey, somebody in there. I heard him. Charlie, are you drunk again? Come on out to the car, will you? I want to hear the game. Hey, I'm telling you, man, there's somebody in there. Charlie, are you crazy, huh? Raven.
Oh, Cliff Nelson, my God, you scared me to death.
You know, I thought I might find you here.
Let me up. What are you doing here?
I might ask you the same question, except the answer's obvious, isn't it? We're both looking for the same thing, aren't we?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The letter. A letter that you gave April and Draper Scott?
Don't be crazy. It flew off her terrace.
Into Elliot Dorn's hands. Or else why are you sneaking around here so late at night?
Elliot was my friend. He gave me a key to this place. You're the one who's breaking and entering.
Oh, why don't you call a cop?
Cliff, I was looking for a compact, a solid gold compact that I left in his office.
Sure, yeah. Did you find that letter in there, too, while you're there?
What are you doing?
I need that letter.
Anything. Stop it.
Hey, you don't have it. Raven. See you in court tomorrow?
Understand why you can't convince Logan to come upstairs. There's plenty of food.
I already asked him to come upstairs, and he said no. He had bothered you enough for one day.
Well, that's absolutely silly. But what's the difference? If he doesn't want to join us, he doesn't. Where are you?
I'm in a bar in the hotel down the street, a place called the Ivory Tower. I thought it would be a good place for me and Logan to have a quiet conversation.
You could have had a quiet conversation up here.
Well, not just the two of us.
Oh, see?
Look, I'll be back in an hour, maybe 3/4 of an hour. Can Molly hold dinner?
Yeah, I'm sure she can.
Honey, you're not angry, are
you? No, not at all. As a matter of fact, I think it's probably a very good idea.
Okay, I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye. Well, it appears as though dinner is going to have to wait a little while longer. Draper has an unexpected meeting.
Well, how long do you think you'll be, Mrs. Scott?
About an hour or so. Since the fish goes in at the last minute, I don't think that would present a problem, do you?
Oh, no. Dinner's no problem, but...
Is there another problem?
Well, I was hoping to go visit Emily after I served dinner, and visiting hours are over at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, well, look, there's no reason why I can't cook the fish.
Well, I'd hate to ask you to do that, but...
No, it's absolutely all right. There's nothing to worry about. You can leave just as soon as you're ready.
Oh, thank you. I'll just take these into the kitchen quickly. Thank you. Oh, you know, it really is a shame Mr. Swift didn't want to stay for dinner. There's plenty for 3 of you.
He couldn't stay.
Oh, he just is so nice, isn't he?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Swifty. I've seen you look happier.
Swifty. You know, I never thought anybody ever called me that again.
A month ago, I wouldn't have been able to call you by any name. Hey, remember that time you came out to the house in Oakdale to see me?
Oh, yes. I missed you about, just by a few feet. Emily saw to that. By then, she knew your real identity, of course.
Yeah. Poor Emily must have been shaken when she found out the man she thought was her husband wasn't.
Well, she didn't exactly go out and tell the world about it, did she? I mean, I know it's not well to speak ill of the ill.
Well,
but...
let's forget about Emily. How are you feeling?
It doesn't show. I feel like I could walk under a worm with room to spare.
Pessimistic about the outcome of the trial?
You might say that, yes. I think it's all over but the shouting, and the only one doing any shouting is going to be Raven. Much as I hate to think about that. Judge Lewis, very impartial jurist. I've always admired him for that, but this time I wish he'd forget about the evidence and decide the case on his instincts. That way I'd have a chance of winning. And what do you think?
Well, I gotta be honest with you, Logan. I don't think you made much of a case against Raven, and that's what you had to do to win.
Exactly. We had to prove that she was an unfit mother. We didn't do that.
Well, what are your plans if you do lose the case? You still thinking about leaving Monticello?
It wasn't idle talk.
It's foolish talk, Logan. If you leave Monticello, you're really going to lose Jamie. I mean, if you stay, at least you're going to be able to see your son.
At Raven's kind indulgence. No, thank you.
All right, then what about your job? I mean, you are the DA of Monticello.
I know.
Well, you don't think you're going to walk into another spot like this in another city, do you?
Go into private practice. Get rich.
Come on, Logan. You love the job. It's in your blood. You are the chief law enforcement official of Monticello. Hell, you could end up mayor of this place.
I have had enough of politics.
What about your friends? You know, there are one, maybe two people in this town who would miss you.
Well, I'll just have to keep in touch with those one or two people, won't I?
April would miss you.
I would miss her.
Yeah. Logan, is April the reason you're leaving Monticello?
Draper, I hope you didn't buy that garbage that Raven was trying to sell at the trial the other day.
Raven's got nothing to do with it.
You sure?
I know
Most people see a little smoke, they like to look for some fire.
She was just trying to cause as much trouble as she could. I know that. I know it was she who put her attorney up to saying in court that you and April were lovers.
It was a lie, Draper.
I know it was a lie. April told me.
And now I am telling you.
Look, Logan, I stepped out of the picture. You and April had the right to do whatever you wanted to do to make yourselves happy.
You really do see smoke, don't you? Hmm?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'd have to be blind not to. And I wasn't blind the night I came home early and saw you and April on the terrace.
You mean that first night that I came over to see you and you weren't there?
Yeah. I came home and I saw it. I went right back down in the elevator.
And had Oscar call up and announce you?
Yes,
Draper,
yes.
damn it, why didn't you just
come in? I
come
couldn't
in?
handle a confrontation at that point. I didn't know how I wanted to handle it.
This hasn't been easy for any of us, you know, least of all April.
Look, Logan, I know we have all suffered.
All right. Straight out. April and I were not lovers. And that is the truth. In time, we might have been. In fact, I think we would have been. But we weren't. Can't be more honest than that, can I? Do I get a medal?
No medal. Maybe another drink.
Much more useful.
Yeah, why don't you signal? Well, how do you feel now?
Disloyal?
Oh, Logan, you didn't go behind my back. I was dead. April was a widow. What happened couldn't be avoided. It was inevitable, natural that the two of you should get closer. I mean, you were my best friend.
I still am your best friend, whether you believe that or not.
I do believe it. I do believe it. That's why I want you to stay. Look, I want you to promise me that regardless of what happens in the courtroom, you are going to stay in Monticello.
Can't do that.
Look, Logan, running...
Thank you.
Running away is not going to help the situation.
The sooner I'm away from here, the easier it's going to be on everybody.
Logan,
you'll see.
Logan, we are friends, the three of us. There's no reason that we couldn't sit down and discuss the problem.
Problem? What problem? There's no problem, at least not as far as you're concerned. April loves you. She loves you. Whatever she felt for me, she never stopped loving you.
I know. And I never stopped loving her.
Then why don't you go home? Your wife is waiting for you.
Come back with me, okay? Please?
I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Oh, sure you can. You don't have any other plans tonight.
I do have plans. As a matter of fact, I got to go see Cliff.
Wilson, what for?
Oh, boy, it's too crazy to explain. He's got some idea. Just leave it that I got to finish this drink and then see if I can find him.
Oh, God. I'm so glad you're here. I was so afraid you'd be gone.
What's with you? You look like somebody's after you.
You don't know how close you are.
What happened?
I'm sorry, I have to have a drink.
It was awful. I was at the Unicorn.
Unicorn? That place is closed down.
I had a key, and it's not what you think. Elliot gave me the key when we were still seeing each other, and I never gave it back.
The club is supposed to be padlocked. It was the scene of a crime.
Well, it wasn't. It was locked, and so I let myself in.
Why? What were you doing there?
I was looking for something. I wasn't trying to steal anything, and if you look at me like I'm a criminal, I'm going to walk right out and
Calm
never come
down.
back.
Try and give me a responsible answer.
All right. I was looking for a compact, a solid gold compact that I had left in Elliot's office when I was there a few days ago.
You told me you hadn't seen Elliot for months.
All right, so I did see him. But it's not what you're thinking. Elliot was being very childish, and my mother was here, and he wanted to know why I dropped him, and he wanted to know how serious I was about you, and...
You finish that drink, you're gonna fall flat on your face.
All right, then would you put some ice in it? Anyway... He was very upset, and he told me that he was going to walk in on me when my mother was there. You know how petty people can get. So I went to his office, and I told him that he should just accept the fact that we were all finished and there was nothing he could do, and I guess I was very nervous, thank you, and I left my very valuable compact in his office.
So you picked tonight to try and retrieve it. My God. Raven, don't you realize my officers have been all through that place? If there was a lady's compact lying around, they would have found it.
Well, they didn't, did they?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Well, I thought I could find it. My mother gave me that compact in London. It wasn't just valuable, it had sentimental value.
All right. All right, excuse me.
Wait a minute, what are you doing?
I'm gonna choose somebody ragged for neglecting to padlock the scene of a crime.
Will you just listen to me for a second? There was someone else at the Unicorn.
What?
Cliff Nelson was there. He scared me to death.
The hell was going on there tonight? A convention?
I don't know. All I know is that he said some horrible things to me, and he's bound to make some kind of an accusation, and if anyone was there to rob the place, it was him.
Cliff Nelson's an attorney, not a catbird. What was he doing there?
I don't know. I think he thought that Elliot had the letter.
Letter?
There was this letter that they think that I wrote to Draper in April, but and none of it was true anyway. That horrible man knows that he's going to lose the case, and he knows that the court is going to give me custody of the baby. And Derek, please, you have to protect me.
Protect you? I can't even understand you.
Just love me, please. That's all you have to do. Please.
It's true. The doctors say I'm making wonderful progress now. You know, I can hardly believe what they're all telling me, that just a short while ago, the only thing I could do was stare into space.
Don't you remember anything about it?
No. It was like a dream, I guess. Yeah, that's just what it was. Like being asleep for a very long time.
Do you remember people being here or visitors?
No. Not unless I dreamt them. Of course, I remember you were here, Molly. And April and Kirk. Gosh, no, I can't say that anymore, can I? His name is Draper. I have to remember to call him Draper. See? I know the difference now. You have to say that's progress.
Oh, yes, that is definitely progress. Oh, I've never seen you look so well.
Well, tell me, how are April and Draper? You must have just left them.
Yes, I just left Mrs. Scott. And Mr. Scott, Draper, he has to go to a meeting.
Does he do that a lot, Molly? Leave her alone while he goes to meetings?
Oh, no, not very often. He doesn't really work a full schedule yet. I don't think that, poor dear, he has his strength completely back.
Well, April's taking good care of him, though, isn't she?
Yes, I suppose she's trying.
Well, what about that man you told me about? The one who's in love with her? Logan Swift, is he still coming around?
Oh, he was there tonight. He left sort of early, but I think that he's afraid to be alone with her.
Oh, isn't it delicious? It's also romantic. My poor Kirk. I mean, my poor Draper. Probably doesn't know a thing about it, does he?
Emily, I think he knows. I think he knows exactly what happened in his absence. But I also think that he is afraid to admit that he knows it, and she doesn't want to talk about it. That is why the marriage will never work, never.
Oh, I wish I could be with him. Wish I could see my Draper. She won't let him come here. She's keeping him from me. You know, the last time I asked for him, she came instead.
But he had a very important phone call from London.
No, that was just an excuse. See, I know what April is up to. She told me that she doesn't think that Draper should come and see me.
Mrs. Scott told you that?
Yes, she's afraid of me, Molly. She's afraid of Draper. Afraid of the feelings he still has for me. I think that's what it is, don't you?
Now, Emily. Now, you mustn't rush things. Darling, I have told you over and over that things are not going to work out between them, but you must give them time.
But, Molly, he has to come and see me. You've got to get him here. You see, I want to tell him that I know who he is now. I want to tell him that it's Draper I love, not Kirk. Oh, Molly, he'll be so happy, won't he?
Come on, where are you? Ow. Damn. That's all I need now. I can sue Elliot for it. Great. This place is doing more business now than it did when it was a disco. Doing here? Do you know how close you came to making me commit manslaughter? How'd you get in?
The door was open, you dummy. You're not very good at this, are you?
Hey, well, I didn't leave it open. Your wife did.
My wife?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Raven was here when I arrived.
Well, what was she doing?
Probably the exact same thing I'm doing for the past half hour, looking for that damn letter. I know she scared 10 years out of my life. My only consolation is I probably did the exact same thing to her. You see, this proves my theory. Why else would Raven be here if she didn't think the letter were here, huh?
Well, what about it? She didn't find it, did she?
No, she didn't. She didn't have it on her when she left, at least.
And I assume you didn't find it, or you wouldn't still be here.
No, not yet. Of course. Why didn't I think of this before? The safe. Locked.
And empty. The cops will have confiscated whatever was in there and put it in their own safe.
The cops might not have thought that a letter was worth confiscating. You ever think of that, huh?
She made a mess in here for no apparent reason.
I didn't make any mess. Raven made the mess. I just sort of finished it off.
Well, neither one of you found anything, did you?
No. I didn't find anything here. The only thing I got from this evening's exercise is a sore back from turning that couch down. You know, if Elliot had that letter, he either hid it somewhere else or threw it away.
Then let's get out of here before we get arrested for looting.
You're right, we are trespassing. I don't want Scarlett to get in trouble for giving me that key.
Then let's go.
Right. Hey, wait a minute, boss.
Come on.
Well, just as I always thought. Elliot and I have the same taste in literature. That rat. He took out the centerfold. I haven't read this issue yet. May as well get something out of this exercise I'm getting. What a mess.
The edge of night, half dark, half light. Do you think we might wake up some...
Come on. How long does it take to pour a shot of whiskey?
Well, you relax. There was no ghost you saw. There was my wife.
Your jokes aren't any better than mine.
Oh, Cliff, seriously, you better take it easy. That's not water you're drinking.
I need something to calm me down. Look at my hands, they're still shaking.
Just forget about it. Tell me what happened.
I went to the Unicorn, and I wasn't expecting anybody, so I used the key and I walked in.
And you weren't the only one there.
There were two of us there, and I don't care what anybody says. We were both there for the same reason. Raven!
Oh, Cliff Nelson, my God, you scared me to death.
You know, I thought I might find you here.
Let me up. What are you doing here?
I might ask you the same question, except the answer's obvious, isn't it? We're both looking for the same thing, aren't we?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The letter? The letter that you gave April and Draper Scott?
Don't be crazy. It flew off her terrace.
Into Elliot Dorn's hands. Or else why are you sneaking around here so late at night?
Elliot was my friend. He gave me a key to this place. You're the one who's breaking and entering.
Oh, why don't you call a cop?
Cliff, I was looking for a compact, a solid gold compact that I left in his office.
Sure, yeah. Did you find that letter in there, too, while you're there?
What are you doing?
I need that letter.
Stop it.
Hey, you don't have it. Raven. See you in court tomorrow?
If she was looking for a gold compact, I'm Napoleon Bonaparte.
No, you're too tall. It's still very hard for me to believe that Elliot Dorn got his hands on that letter.
Well, Raven must have thought he had that letter, or else why would she be in that office that late at night, huh?
You sure she didn't get it?
She didn't have it on her. I searched. I don't think she found it. Of course, then neither did I.
Can't eat anything.
Might do you good.
I feel like I've had 10 years taken off my life. Do I have any gray hair?
Look, I can't help thinking you brought it on yourself. You should have notified the police about your lost compact. If it had turned up when they took inventory of the unicorn, it would have been returned.
Well, I didn't think of it. Well, I did think of it, but I thought you might be upset with me.
Me?
Well, then you'd know that I was in Elliot Dorn's office not too long ago.
I think I would have survived the blow.
Derek, I would have been fine if it wasn't for Cliff Nelson. He had no right to be there, you know.
Careful, sweetheart. This sounds like a classic example of the pot calling the kettle black.
Well, I can just imagine what he's going to say about why I was in Elliot Dorn's office.
Such as what?
I don't know. But I'm sure he has a wild imagination.
Well, you're worrying about nothing. The real problem is that the unicorn shouldn't have been accessible to anybody. All the extra keys should have been rounded up by the investigating officers. Padlock placed on the front door.
Well, there wasn't.
There will be.
You're not going to let him spread rumors about me, are you?
Don't you worry about Cliff Nelson. I'm going to have a talk with him. Find out just what he was doing there and how he managed to get in.
Good. Threaten him. Really threaten him. He's a coward just like all other bullies.
You'd like me to beat him with a rubber hose?
Yes, he deserves everything he gets. He had no right to do that. I was scared.
Please spare me your upstanding citizen routine, will you?
Derek, I just want your help.
Yeah, you always come to my office or my apartment whenever you need help.
Of course I do. I feel very secure here. Why shouldn't I come to the man that means more than anything in the world to me?
I mean something to you?
Yes. Why else did I mean, why did we... Derek, you know what I mean.
You just think it's nice to have the chief of police in your corner. If somebody else had my job, you'd be at his house right now.
How dare you say that to me?
It's the truth.
If you cared about me, you wouldn't say things like that.
I care about you. I just don't care to be used.
Oh, really? Maybe I should just leave.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I didn't say that.
I won't bring my problems to you anymore. Not here, not at
mean
the office. I mean, you don't need to feel used because I'll never see you again. Never.
You really shouldn't have waited dinner for me.
There's no trouble. I wanted to have dinner with my husband.
Didn't mean to be so long. Once Logan and I started talking, you know.
Well, I'm sure the two of you have quite a bit to say to each other.
Quite a bit happened in the last 6 months.
I don't blame you for wanting to catch up on things. But you didn't talk about just business, did you?
No. Talked about what went on between the two of you during the 6 months you thought I was dead.
I see.
You made the transition to young, attractive widow pretty well.
It was very difficult for me, Draper. But it was something I had to do to survive. For weeks after it happened, I didn't much care whether I lived or didn't. I wasn't so sure I wanted to live without you.
Sounds like your ordeal was worse than mine.
I was not unfaithful to you, Draper.
I never said that you weren't.
I wanted you to know that. Even though you were dead, I did not take a lover. Yes, Logan and I did see each other, you know that. Draper, he was in need of companionship almost as much as I was. Maybe even more. He had not only lost his marriage, he'd lost his son. He was terribly vulnerable. I guess I was too.
Did you kiss him?
Yes.
Did you?
Don't do it.
Sorry.
I don't know why I brought that up. I won't ever mention this again.
Draper, that's not going to work. We've got to talk about it. We've got to talk about what happened to you. What happened to me. I mean, what's our alternative? Just let it fester around in our minds until it turns into something poisonous? As far as Logan and I were concerned, the simple truth is we were two people who might have become lovers in time. There. I've said it, and I think that's about the hardest sentence I've ever had to say in my life.
Yeah. I guess it was hard to do. I appreciate your coming out with it.
It's what you were thinking. Wouldn't have done any of us any good to deny it.
No, it wouldn't have.
But what is important, Draper, is that time never happened. Everything stopped the moment you came back into my life. It is all a memory now, Draper. And obviously, it is a memory that has caused a lot of people a lot of pain.
Especially Logan.
Yes. But we all have to make a fresh start. And we don't have to tear each other apart to do it. I mean, we mustn't.
That's right. We mustn't.
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, she's sitting right here. Well, hold on a second. I'll get it for you. Red, it's for you.
Can you take a message, Calvin? Tell whoever it is I'll call back.
No, I think you better take this one now. It's Big Chief Mallory, and it sounds like he's on the warpath.
Oh, brother. What did I do now? Hello, Chief. What can I do for you?
Why don't you do your job?
I am. What's the problem?
You are the investigating officer in charge of the Dorn murder case, isn't that correct?
Yes. Well, look, hey, I don't think it's fair for you to come down on me because I haven't made an arrest yet.
There are a few procedural rules that you can't seem to remember.
Will you tell me what is on your mind?
A scavenger hunt took place tonight in the late Mr. Dorn's office. Cliff Nelson was snooping around looking for God knows what.
How did you find out about that?
I've got my sources.
Well, did anything happen?
Nothing was taken as far as I know, but evidence might have been tampered with, even unknowingly.
Look, Cliff is a lawyer. I'm sure that he was very careful.
You wouldn't happen to know how he managed to get in there.
I do.
You want to tell me about it?
He had a key.
And just how did he manage to get that key?
I gave it to him.
Something told me that was going to be your answer, considering the fact that you're responsible for rounding up all the extra keys. Do you want to tell me what on earth possessed you to give a key to a man who had no business being there in the first place?
Cliff had reason to believe that there was certain evidence pertaining to Logan's custody suit that was very important to the case, and it was in that office.
So the least you could have done was to accompany him there, then you'd only be stretching the rules.
Well, I didn't think that Cliff was going to take anything that didn't belong to him.
You just didn't think, period, Detective. That was your problem.
Yes, sir, if you say so.
I don't know which one of my officers right now holds the trophy for breaking more rules and regulations, but I dare say you're coming dangerously close to that distinction.
I was doing what I thought was right under the circumstances, Chief.
I want to see you in my office first thing in the morning, if you think you can follow up on that order.
Yes, sir. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy. I think I did it now.
Sounds like you got called out on the carpet, but good this time.
I think that when I walk out of the chief's office tomorrow morning, I'm going to be assigned to permanent school crossing guard duty. Will you come visit me?
He threatened you with disciplinary action?
I'm surprised he didn't threaten me with bodily harm.
Red, I think you know why all this dumb stuff is happening. You have been letting your personal feelings get in the way of your professional common sense. You should never have given Nelson that key.
Look, I am very tired of people saying that my personal feelings are getting in the way. How else are people supposed to operate? I didn't think it would hurt for Cliff to take a look.
Deborah, you and I went through that office with a fine-tooth comb and came up with nothing. Now, what was he supposed to find? I mean, we are the ones trained for that kind of search.
Look, maybe we overlooked something. It's possible, you know. It wouldn't hurt for Cliff to look around.
Deborah, face it. You were not trying to help Cliff. You were trying to hurt Raven.
Raven is about to win this custody battle, Calvin, and I don't want to see that happen.
The fact that you hate this woman is no reason to throw away your whole career.
Look, it's done. I'm a big girl. I can take care of myself.
How are things on the graveyard shift, huh? Dig up any bodies lately?
Well, if it isn't Light Fingers Nelson. You know, Cliff, you had a hell of a lot of nerve asking Deborah for that key. I mean, you used to work for the DA's office. You should know better.
Look, do not pick on Cliff. I could have said no.
Yeah,
What'd I do, huh?
Good night.
Ready to go out and have that drink we talked about?
I think you've had enough, Cliff. I've got to talk to
Hey,
Calvin.
wait, this is business. Don't you want to know who I found in Elliot Dorn's office?
Logan, it's obvious that you are very tired. Why don't you just go to bed?
Considering the way things went for me today, Geraldine, I probably would have been better off if I just stayed in bed in the first place.
You know, my dear, you have never been one to wallow in self-pity, so please don't start that now. I have never seen you in such a defeated frame of mind, and I might add that it doesn't suit you one bit. Now, I know the custody trial is going badly, but...
Badly? The portrait that is being painted of Raven in that courtroom is not only going to get her custody of Jamie, she could end up a candidate for sainthood.
But the trial isn't over.
It's just a matter of time.
Cliff Nelson asked for a continuance on the grounds that new evidence might be forthcoming. Now, surely that must be a glimmer of hope.
He was stalling, Geraldine. He was bluffing, playing for time. He hoped he could come up with Raven's letter.
Logan, if that letter did appear in the courtroom...
It's not going to happen. He had some crazy notion about where the letter might be found, but didn't pan out.
That's too bad.
Yes, it is. Because now, the judge is going to have to make his decision on the evidence that's already been introduced. So the trial is over.
I am not going to allow this defeatist attitude.
Something else happened to me today, too. Icing on the cake, you could say.
More bad news?
Well, not bad, really. Difficult for me to deal with, though. Had a drink this evening with Draper. We had one of those air-clearing discussions. The subject was April and what we meant to each other while he was away.
Well, it was only a matter of time before that conversation took place.
I guess so. I guess I'm glad we had it.
It's much better that Draper heard the truth from you rather than accepting that sordid portrait painted by Raven's attorney.
Well, now he knows how I felt then and how I feel now.
Good, I'm glad. Now you can all get back to your previous relationships.
No, Geraldine, I don't think so. I don't think we can ever go back.
I see no reason why you should drift apart. That would be a pity.
We'll have to write occasionally.
What are you talking about?
I haven't told you yet. I should have. You should have been the first to know. I've decided to leave Monticello.
You can't be serious.
No, but I am. And I'm going to miss you, Geraldine. You have no idea how much.
Logan, you can't leave Monticello. Why, that would be sheer foolishness.
Makes perfectly good sense to me. In fact, it seems like the only thing I can do.
But, my dear, you have so much going for you here. Your career, the people who care about you. You can't give up all that.
When the judge hands down his decision tomorrow, I'm going to resign my position as district attorney, and I'm going away. I don't know where yet, but I am going. Monticello has become a very unhappy town for me.
Nippy.
Thanks.
Too bad we're so high up, can't see the colors on the trees, huh?
Yeah.
Draper, when you spoke with Logan tonight, did he mention leaving Monticello?
You mentioned it one time.
Do you think he's really serious?
Depends on the outcome of the custody trial.
Yeah, of course.
You think it's something else?
Well, I'm sure that he couldn't bear to live in a place where he knew that Raven had custody of his son.
Maybe he just couldn't stand to be around the permanence of our marriage.
Draper, listen to me. The moment I saw you next to that carousel at Playland, almost the split second that I realized that you were still alive, all the feelings of love I have ever felt for you came rushing back like a river, an ocean.
God, Eva, you don't know how much I want that to be true.
It is true. Listen to me. You've got to believe that. Yes, I've been all mixed up, all my emotions and everything, but I've still thanked God every day that you were brought back to me.
Yeah, from the looks of the place, she'd gone through the filing cabinets and everything before I could stop her in the act.
Boy, I have a good mind to bust her for breaking and entering.
Ain't no can do. She got her key from Elliot Dorn himself. That constitutes permission from the lawyer, don't forget.
Well, now I know how the chief found out that you were there.
Oh, she gave me some story about losing a gold compact case.
Yeah, well, we both know why she was there.
Nobody could benefit more from having that letter in her hot little hand than Raven herself.
I still don't understand how Elliot got a hold of it after it was thrown off a terrace 32 stories high.
That's a very popular question tonight. Logan asked the same thing. Hey, don't look at me for the answer, you know? I'm just the lawyer here. You're the detective.
We still don't know if the document that Elliot was talking about was really the letter, you know?
Come on, Raven is sneaking around his office at this time of night? Yeah, that's proof enough for me.
I always knew that Elliot had something Raven wanted, but I sure didn't think it was the letter.
Oh, Scarlett, I love it when you talk dirty. God, Raven must really be desperate to get her hands on that letter. She'd do anything for it. She'd probably even kill for it.